Hi everyone, welcome to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum's Bird Mondays. What I wanted to cover today is some interesting things that we've seen this summer in the bird world here in Saskatchewan. Some really rare visitors to the province have showed up, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to describe each of those and give you an idea about why that might be happening. So the first bird that I wanted to cover is a really interesting and extremely rare observation for Saskatchewan. It's a little bird called a Feno Pepla. It's a small songbird. Its Greek name, Feno Pepla, actually translates to shiny robe. And when you see one, it's totally reflective of its amazingly black iridescent plumage. So this is a bird that's normally confined to California, Arizona, New Mexico, and even down into the country of Mexico. So like I said, extremely rare to have it observed here in Saskatchewan. What makes it even more interesting is that Feno Peplas are actually a specialist on mistletoes. So its digestive tract has evolved to digest mistletoes, and its main food source is almost completely mistletoes. So this is one of those birds that, again, typically doesn't migrate. So how it made its way all the way up to Saskatchewan, we can really only guess at. The next bird that I wanted to take a look at that showed up in Saskatchewan this year, which was extremely odd, was something called a Crested Caracara. This is a bird that's normally found in Texas, Arizona, country of Mexico, and is quite common down in South America. This is a species that looks like a hawk. It acts like a turkey vulture because it scavenges carcasses off the ground, but it's actually most closely related to our falcons, so things like peregrine and prairie falcons that we have here in Saskatchewan. It's a species that's kind of interesting as well, because a lot of the times, compared to a lot of the falcons and a lot of the hawks that we see, it tends to be on the ground walking quite a bit. So it makes it a fairly distinctive bird that you find out in the wild. But again, a bird that's normally confined to Texas and Mexico and South America, how it made its way up to Saskatchewan, we'll probably never know. Now, this is another interesting bird that we had show up here in Saskatchewan, although it's a little bit more common than the other two species that we looked at today. This is a bird called a dickcissel. It's a small grassland songbird, but it's actually more closely related to things like cardinals and some of the buntings that we have here in the province. So like I said, this isn't an extremely common visitor to Saskatchewan, but it's not rare. We do frequently see dickcissels coming to Saskatchewan when conditions are right. They can find taller grass and things like that for nesting. So this is one of those species, depending on weather conditions, we may see them from time to time here in the province. So a little bit less of a mystery of why this bird showed up here in Saskatchewan this summer compared to the Feno Pepla or the Crested Caracara. Thanks very much for tuning in this week and looking at a few extremely rare occurrences of different birds here in the province. This is a prime example of why citizen scientists and people out in the wild with cameras taking pictures of birds is extremely important, because it allows us to find really rare and unique birds like the three ones that I covered today.